What's grounded, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Geo, and welcome back to GP. On today's video, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cover the second step, which is getting rid of your triggers and understanding your triggers. But before I go ahead and talk about that, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share my videos if you respect and value the information that I'm giving out. By you guys helping me do that, it will allow my channel to grow, and therefore I can help more people. So let's talk about getting rid of your triggers. So this second step right here is the second out of 4 steps that I have. And if you haven't seen that video where I talk about the 4 steps that I took on how I became alcohol free and cocaine free for 4 years now, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the description below. That way you guys can go ahead and watch that video before you guys watch this one. So when it comes to triggers, I separated them into 3 separate W's. So you have the who, the where, and the why. I want you to think about the last time you drank, or every time you drink. Who are you with? Now this is important because this person or these group of people may be a trigger to you. So if you want to get rid of these triggers, you need to have clear communication to your friends or your family, whoever it may be, and clearly state that you do not want to drink anymore. You do not want to use drugs, or whatever your issue may be. Letting them know, hey, if you're drinking, if you're partying or whatever, I don't want to have anything to do with that. So this is how you're going to find out who your true friends are. If your friend tells you, hey bro, like, come out tonight, like, we're going to go ahead and have a couple of drinks, pick up on bitches, woo woo, this and that. But you had already told them you're not interested, you're not trying to drink anymore, you're trying to get your shit together, and they still continue to do that. Maybe one time you're gonna have to remind them, hey bro, you know what, like, check it out, like, I'm not trying to do that anymore. Okay, let that slide. They're not used to that. Maybe you're their wingman, they really need you, whatever. But after a couple times, they see that they continue to do this. At that point, you gotta cut them off. If you're really about changing your life and you don't want to drink anymore and change your relationship with alcohol, you have to cut this person off or these group of people off, because you clearly stated that you're not interested in that anymore, but they're not respecting the fact that you don't want to do that no more. And who knows, it might be for the good. So perfect example for me, once I stopped drinking, pretty much all my friends drink, right? I'm probably the only dude that doesn't drink. And so I clearly stated, and I told all my friends, you know what, I'm making this decision to not drink anymore. And in the first couple of days, like, it was kind of like a joke and stuff. They didn't really think that I would do it, but I kind of just kept to myself. I didn't return any text messages. I wasn't kicking it with anybody. And after a while, they started noticing that I was really about it. So after that, they wouldn't hit me up to party anymore. They wouldn't hit me up to have a drink. Shit, they would only hit me up to play ball, or to have a poker session, or whatever it may be that doesn't involve primarily having a drink. So while I would be in these situations, no one ever offered me a drink. No one ever like said, hey, like, pressured me or called me a bitch because I didn't want to drink, because they understood what I was going through. And those are the kind of friends you want to have around. Even if they do drink, by them just respecting the fact that you don't drink, those are good friends right there. And I'm really thankful for that. So all you homies out there that respect that I don't drink, props to you guys, and thank you guys for being the friends that you are. Now I want to talk about the second W, which is the where. Now this one's very important, because even if you have homies that are not pressuring you to drink, and like, they're not really pressing you or like telling you you should drink or any of that, you're in a situation where drinks are everywhere, whether it be a bar or a club, whatever it is, it's going to be really tough to not drink, at least for the first couple of months, or I'd say like a year or two, because you associate that environment with drinking. And let's be honest, everybody there is drinking. Maybe a couple people don't, but if you're like 1 month without drinking and you go and you put yourself in that environment, shit, good fucking luck. You're gonna have to get rid of that that trigger, which is that particular place, whether it's a bar, whether it's, you name it. Even let's say it's a freaking family party. You know, we all know at family parties now, there's one cooler for the kids, the small one with Capri Suns in it, and there's like 3 giant coolers full of beer. You know, so how are you gonna get out of that one? Best thing to do is to get rid of that trigger and, you know, maybe show up for a bit and then just dip out. Like, don't be there too long. Like, maybe by the time it hits nighttime, that's when everybody starts pounding. You know, you're out of there. You brought your gift, you did what you had to do, you socialized for a bit, you ate, and then you dipped out. So getting rid of that trigger, which is the where, very important. Now we're going to talk about the why. Now let's say you don't have any friends. Let's say no one really presses you to drink. Let's say you don't really go out much. Let's say you just like being at home and you just like sitting on your couch drinking alone. Okay, so why are you drinking alone? Is it because you're stressed? Is it because you have anxiety? Is it because you're depressed? Is it because you're sad? So your excuse and your belief is every time you feel these emotions, you drink, right? Because you're alone. You don't have a trigger, really. You don't have somebody there, or you don't have an environment. You're in your own freaking house. But inside of you, you're feeling something. You're feeling emotions. That is a why. That is like a reason why you drink. And that is a trigger. Sadness, mad, stressed out. All of these things, you're gonna have to change the belief system as to where you feel these feelings and you give yourself the excuse, okay, that's why I'm having a drink. How many times have you heard like, damn, I had a really stressful day today. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and have my 6-pack of beers that I usually have. If you really want to stop drinking, every time you feel these emotions, these are also triggers as to why you drink. So you got to change that excuse. Go out for a jog, start doing some exercise, okay? Those are the 3 W's for the triggers. Now, how do you eliminate these triggers? How is it possible to get rid of all of these triggers? Now, the first two W's, which is who and where, it's an easy solution. If you have friends that are pressing you and having you go out to these environments, you go ghost. Go fucking ghost. Stop returning fucking text messages. Cut people off. If you have to go to that extent, delete them from your social media, whatever. Delete social media in fucking general. Fuck it. Do you really need that shit? If it triggers you that bad, if you feel like you're missing out, get rid of that shit. You don't need it. Now, that's a solution, going ghost. Now also, this is why I implement the 3rd and 4th step, which is self-care. Physical self-care, emotional self-care, and spiritual self-care. Then the 4th step would be reprogramming your subconscious mind. Really quick, I want to talk about this AA meeting I went to like a week ago. I went to an AA meeting which was not court ordered. It was my first AA meeting that was not court ordered. And I've been to AA meetings in the past, but before I was just there because I kind of had to. You know, I was actually high at the time, or I'll go a little bit buzzed, and I'll just sit through these meetings. But in this meeting, I was there for a full hour, sober as fuck, because I have 4 years without using cocaine and alcohol. And I was there, and I was really like, damn, you know, like, this is super cool. Everybody's sharing how they feel. Everybody's just, you know, really supportive, really like all about how you feel and stuff. And I really like that. However, I did notice that in order for these particular people, you know, it does work for them, and that's how they maintain their sobriety, but they have to keep going to these meetings. They have to be dependent on a meeting or like a sponsor available. Now, I never really had to do that. I don't know if it's because the steps that I took, whether it was through self-care or reprogramming my subconscious mind, but I didn't become dependent on people to be there for me, so I didn't have to fucking drink or do another bump or line of cocaine. So this is why I emphasize the third and fourth step. Once you get rid of your triggers, you're really gonna have a lot of time for yourself. Being alone is very important. I'm not saying to be antisocial. What I'm saying is learning how to be alone, learning how to be not codependent or dependent on somebody, whether it's your spouse or your significant other or family. You know, learning how to be alone and really learning about yourself, whether it's your fucking demons, whether it's about your childhood. Like I talk about my childhood a lot and how I was sexually molested at a young age, and look at me now, I'm talking about it like if nothing fucking happened to me. Why? Because I fucking deal with that shit. I dealt with it, I got over that shit, and I'm just like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? And what's next is I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can by going through these steps. And you know, if AA is not for you, or NA is not for you, or whatever other 12-step program is not for you, like this might be for you. You can go through these not easy. You can go through these 4 steps, which it will encourage you to basically learn how to be alone and deal with some shit that you've been through in the past, or dealing with right now at the moment. You know, and on the bright side too, you know, you're going to be able to work on yourself physically. You're going to be able to do things you never thought you could do. Why? Because you're getting rid of these triggers that you have, you know, whether it's people, whether it's places, and whether it's shit you're dealing with on the inside. So those are the 3 W's that I have for the triggers. If you feel like something else triggers you, maybe that I didn't cover, or you feel like there's something else that triggers you in particular, let me know in the comment section below. This way I could talk about it, and maybe we could relate, or maybe somebody else might benefit by you bringing it up. So that's going to be it for the triggers video. I hope you guys liked the video. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you do feel like this information is valuable to you, and if you respect the channel. Without further ado, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. There's 3 things in life that I'm most proud of: being a reliable father, being alcohol and cocaine free, and having the balls to get on YouTube to talk about my demons and the bullshit that I had to go through because of alcohol. Now, what the fuck are you proud of?